The ocean. It covers roughly 71% of our planet, and we've only managed to explore 20% of it. Home to creatures as large as blue whales. To our smallest ocean dwellers, the single-celled organisms. We all rely on the big blue sea for our fish, generating electricity, and for our summer fun. Without it, we wouldn't have rivers or rain. There are many creatures in these vast oceans that we have learned to love over time, but one seems to have a particular place in our hearts. The dolphin. Not only are these creatures particularly cute, but they are also remarkably intelligent. Dolphins have been helping fishermen across the world, herding fish towards them, using tools like sponges to protect their noses whilst foraging on the sea floor, and even learning behaviors like tail walking from other dolphins in captivity. Our story starts with a small pod of bottlenose dolphins living in somewhat remote waters off the coast of Florida, away from the loud and busy populations of humans on land. Dolphin pods can range from 2 to 30, although super pods of thousands of dolphins have been found. Our little pod has just 5 in it. Each dolphin has their own personality. This is John, the eldest and most dominant male in the pod. He's calmed down over the years, but used to be quite rowdy. As the de facto leader, he decides where the group travels, hunts, and rests. This is Alexis, the eldest of the pod and the mother of the teenagers. She's coming up on 50 years old and is trying to pass her experience on to the next generation. This is Lily and Shyla, 2 females who will soon be ready to find mates and extend the pod. Both are a little reserved, following Alexis and John wherever they go. And then there's Jack. He's what you might call a challenging individual. Rowdy like John used to be and as intelligent as any other dolphin. He will one day be leading his own pod around the ocean. This little family is getting ready for some big changes. Lily, Shyla, and Jack are now old enough to leave home and explore the world for themselves, making their own pod and exploring the oceans together. Dolphins are an important part of the ecosystem as they keep crab populations under control. If they didn't, the crab population would just get too large. So it's important to keep the population growing or we might be overrun with crustaceans. Today, the family will hunt together, making sure they've all eaten before the teenagers run off to form their new pod together. The first thing they have to do is find a school of fish to take on together. Dolphins will happily eat salmon all day. However, in the winter, salmon numbers become scarce. Instead, the dolphins will go eat other fish like catfish. Or, in this case, mackerel. Dolphins will work together to get the fish into a tight ball. Once the fish are panicked, swimming together, unable to escape the pod. Then they pick off fish until they are full. This isn't the only way they hunt. Dolphins are experts at controlling their environment, limiting the visibility and movement of their prey, even going so far as to stun the fish or driving them up onto land and then eating them. When they aren't eating, dolphins will travel, socialize, rest, and protect each other from predators. Or, in Jack's case, rest, traveling, and annoying his siblings. But that won't be Alexis or John's problem for much longer. Lily is 5, Shyla is 4, and Jack is 3. Good ages for moving out of the pod and into the big wide ocean. The pod says their goodbyes, and soon the siblings are swimming off into faraway waters. There's no shortage of places for the little pod to go, from the shores of sunny Australia to the coasts of Britain. The siblings seem to have found a place off the coast of England in a small fishing port. Dolphins are known to be in this area, and the local human population generally doesn't mind them. As long as the siblings don't bother the locals too much. The problem of living closer to humans is that humans aren't exactly the cleanest animals on Earth. This can be a problem for all sea life, not just dolphins. At the top of the food chain, the siblings have the added problem of having to worry about microplastics and other strange things that their food may have ingested. Some things will never change, no matter where you are in the world. But when you're in a new place, you have to get along with your new neighbors. That goes for humans and dolphins. Jack isn't exactly pleased that his food was snatched from him, and whilst his sisters back off, not wanting to get into a fight with the local humans, Jack has no problem being a nuisance to his new neighbors. Much to the annoyance of the people who stole his fish. The local populace isn't pleased with the development, but knows that killing or getting rid of the dolphins isn't a good idea, legally or environmentally. That doesn't mean they won't try. Thankfully, without their boats, the humans can't get close enough to do any real damage. If the dolphins felt they were in real danger, they can leave and go to another place. So right now, humans and animals are in a stalemate of annoying and harassing each other. Some humans even want to take this up the chain of command. But the dolphins aren't dangerous, so there's nothing human authorities will do. As the summer arrives, Brits from around the country flock to the seaside to get the summer sun before they are faced with a rainy fall and a cold and gray winter. Whilst Jack and his siblings may annoy the locals, the tourists and visitors find them endlessly fascinating, wanting to get as close as they can and take as many pictures as possible. Dolphins are one of the animals that have what we call theory of mind, which means they understand that other animals have a mind of their own and can make decisions based on information that only they have. Even then, the change in human behavior in the last month is confusing and the dolphins don't understand it. And the tourists bring unwelcome problems with them. Dolphins are masters of using their environment and exploring the sea. Humans and their pets are not. The pod know this area well enough by now that they know the currents, where they go, and when they are strongest. Tourists and their pets do not. Not all breeds of dog are natural swimmers, and if caught in a strong current, they may not be strong enough to swim back to their humans. Without assistance, it's possible that this dog won't survive the unforgiving waters around the English coast. However annoying the humans may be to the dolphins, and vice versa, that doesn't mean that they can't surprise each other from time to time. Jack, of course, is the first to swim forward, his sisters following behind. With the three of them working together, they are able to start pushing the dog back to shallower waters, fighting against the swell of the tide. If the dolphins hadn't acted when they did, this could have been a very different story. Instead, the humans all got to see a new side to the dolphins and are reunited with a beloved pet. With all the noise and excitement going on shore, the dolphin pod take this chance to quietly slip away. As much as this area has been good for feeding them, the increased noise and pollution is not good for the little pod, and other dolphins in the area have already made the decision to leave, so it's time to move on to new waters. The dolphins aren't the only ones with things to think about, as seeing their aquatic neighbors in a new light has changed something in the human population. This time, pleas going up the chain of command are met with conservation promises, ways to stop or reduce pollution. When humans work together toward a common goal, their ability to adapt and collaborate is second to none. Oceans are cleaned up, companies are fined for polluting the area, and tourists are given new rules. Times change. People suddenly find that they are missing the very same dolphins who had been the bane of their existence just a few months ago. The water's quiet and still. But they aren't the only ones who have changed. Since leaving, Shyla, Lily, and Jack have made a new pod together. Shyla and Lily are both now pregnant and will give birth sometime next year. And Jack has calmed down significantly. He has taken on a dominant role in the pod, helping to choose where they travel to, hunt, or rest. But of course, some things never change. Since the humans have made efforts to clean up the area, it has become a more viable area for the dolphins to visit for hunting, and the peace and quiet of winter is much preferred over the hustle and bustle of the summer months. As the pod gets older and more experienced, Shyla, Lily, Jack, and their pod are all learning the struggles their parents would have gone through to get them to grow up and learn everything they need to. And of course, the humans are still learning to make compromises so that their aquatic neighbors will be safe and continue to return each year. Our world is teeming with life. But if we cannot find ways to live alongside the inhabitants of the earth, sea, and sky, we will one day find that we miss the things they used to do, even if right now it isn't desirable. And just like humans, animals are capable of growing up and changing, finding ways to live with us and adapt to our strange behaviors. Together, we can all learn to live in harmony on this little blue rock flying through space. For more videos on dolphins, their lives, intelligence, hunting tactics, and their experiences, as well as more on wildlife, check out our other videos and comment what you'd like to see us do next.